Well, welcome to the Kristi Jones Show, where it's all about living your life to the fullest. I'm a life coach, speaker, and business owner in multifamily real estate, and I've had wild success in multifamily housing for over 25 years now. I am so passionate about helping others merge their success and lead a fulfilling life, and I bring it all together right here on this podcast. So join me and let's get started to live your life to the fullest. Well, hey, my friend, welcome back to the podcast. And can you believe that we are in December? We are in the final month of this year. And this is the part of the year, the time of year where most people start to check out. They slow down, they kind of drift into old habits or patterns. They convince themselves that they'll just figure it out in January. But guess what? Not you, not me. Here's what I'm going to talk about today. I want to talk about and give you this reminder today that how you end this year is exactly how you start the next. So if you want momentum, clarity, confidence, as you head into 2026, right now is the time to lead yourself forward, not to fall back. So I'm sharing today 3 very powerful ways for you to finish the year strong, to close that gap between where you are and where you want to be, and to set the tone for your next level right now. We're not waiting until the new year. So let me just jump right into it. And I am so glad that you're here today. And we've made it through Thanksgiving. Hopefully you've had a super great holiday. And we're just like, now it's like that pause moment where the reality hits that everyone starts counting the days till Christmas, whatever part of this month that you do your holiday celebrations, everyone like starts that whole countdown. Sometimes the stress rises, the stress comes up, and it's just not the time to coast into the new year. It's now is the time to lead into it. So I want you to just take this moment to, while driving, walking, however it is that you like to listen to your podcast. I like to do a little bit of both. I listen to them in the car, also when I'm out on walks. Maybe if I'm doing like mobility work in my workout. Generally, if I'm like hard working out, I've got my motivating music. But if I'm doing my stretching and my mobility work, a lot of times that's when I plug in a podcast and really take that time to catch up on something that I'm wanting to either learn about or be entertained with. So I hope that's the same for you too. So here's the thing with December. It has a sneaky little way of showing up and surprising us, even though we know all year it's coming. We know it's here. Like it shouldn't be a surprise, but often it feels like a surprise. And it creates a lot of different, maybe creates a lot of different emotions for each of us. But I want to talk about the problem with, if you look at this month as a time to just kind of coast on through and just kind of toss away any goals that you had or anything that you were in the midst of doing, then now you're just going to kind of like coast on through the end of the year. Maybe you haven't, sometimes we're still a little, we see that gap that we didn't really get done what we wanted to get done, or we had a goal and we thought that that would happen by now, and maybe it hasn't. So often from frustration or, maybe just our lack of patience at times, we just say, screw it, I'm just going to coast on through. And I want to really encourage you today to not do that. And the problem with coasting, and really take this time to make it a very powerful time for yourself and really set the tone as you go into the new year. So you hear a lot of people say, you hear people say, oh, I'm just going to start fresh in January. I mean, this is everything from things in your personal life, or maybe in your health and fitness or your workouts, or maybe even like doubling down on your career and projects that you have at work that you could be making some massive gains right now, but you're just like, screw it, I'm just going to start fresh in January. And that delay is costing momentum. There's a price to pay for that. And there is a way to go through the month of December and appreciate it and enjoy it. And it's generally a very social filled month for many of us. There's a way to do that and enjoy it. And this is, I mean, by no means am I saying you have to like bypass all of those things. Not at all. Because remember, this whole journey is success and fulfillment. And those go together. It's like a PB&J. You can have a peanut butter sandwich, or you can have a jelly sandwich. But what's better? A PB&J. Success and fulfillment, it's the exact same way. Leave it to me to compare it to a PB&J or to food, right? I love PB&Js, by the way. Anyways, when you are saying, I'm just going to start fresh in January, or I'm just going to put that off until then, you're costing yourself the price you're paying. That delay, what it is you are losing momentum. And that's the price that you're going to pay for that. Leaders think differently about this. They don't wait for the calendar to tell them it's time to start. They don't wait for a certain day of the month. They don't wait for a certain month, like January, to show up to decide that now is when I'm going to begin, or I'm, going to dig in and get after it and go for this to start something, even to start something new. They don't wait for the calendar to give them permission. So that's when when I talk about you lead yourself into this next year. We can do that right now with how we show up, with our actions, with our words, with our intentions, with that alignment. So don't wait for that calendar to be the thing that gives you permission. And also, because I know this feeling can creep in a lot at this time of year, I want to just like put you at ease if this is you and you feel like you're behind. Just take a breath, let your shoulders drop, unclench the jaw for goodness sakes, and know that you are not behind. You are not behind. And every single person that's human has battled that feeling before. The thing is you don't want that to become a constant battle for yourself. Like, we're human. Those feelings, they're going to rear their head every once in a while. But it's got to be something that when it shows up or you feel like you're behind, it's like very easy to dismiss and you realize how ridiculous you sound. And you know that that's just a lie. So know that you're not behind. I want you just to relax right now. This has nothing, just don't fall into that. I'm behind. And now you're going to start all the negative self-talk. And this is not going to build the momentum that you're wanting to have as you move through the month and we start a brand new, fresh year. So always remember that you are just one aligned, I like to use the word one aligned decision away from having the ending of the year that you are so proud of, that you're so excited about. You're one aligned decision away from that. So don't let December be a blur. Don't let it become a blur of just busyness and chaos. I want you to make this month your runway to take off. Think of it like you're going on a trip, you're getting on the plane. That plane is barreling down the runway to take off to new heights, to go to new places. I want you to envision December like that, not just like this chaotic blur of a month filled with things that you feel like you're supposed to do and places you feel like you're supposed to be. I'm going to get more into that in a little bit. But I want you to enjoy everything that December and everything that this month offers and that it can bring you. But I want you to look at this month as your runway, continually building your momentum. So let's talk about 3 ways that you can finish this year strong. 3 ways to finish the month, finish 2025, feeling good and strong. First is I want you to reflect with purpose. And this is where journaling comes in fabulous. And journaling prompts are so powerful. There's something so powerful about when we journal and we get things out on paper and we just kind of clear our mind and it takes what's in here and it gets it outside. We can see things in such a more objective viewpoint. So ask yourself, journaling prompt, here it is. Let me give you one. If you're like, I don't know, I don't even know what to journal on. Ask yourself, what did I do this year that made me proud? What made me proud? And what do I want more of? What do I want more of in my life? And just as important, okay, hang tight. Here's the next one. I want you to journal on what do I want less of? Sometimes it's not about what we add in, it's what we get clear on about what we need to release or let go or have less of. So, those are some great journaling starting points for you. But reflecting with purpose, you don't need this like full vision board. I'm sure that you're hearing probably around this time, you're hearing lots of talk, or maybe you're seeing things on your social media feed or something like that on, vision boards and creating a vision board. And I've done them and I think they're fabulous and they're fun and they're purposeful. They can be purposeful. But as I say with all things, anyone that's going to tell you that that's the only way, there's not just one way for you to get clear and for you to get more clarity and for you to, determine like, what do I want more of? What do I want less of? The things that I encourage you to journal on, you'll hear a lot about like in January. And I've done this myself, doing the vision board. I love doing one. But if that's not your jam and you're like, that's lame and I don't want to do it, and you're like, it's not me, don't sweat it. There's a million ways to skin a cat, is what I always say. So this is a lot of finding practices that align with you, that feel right to you. And if that is something that you enjoy, that helps give you clarity, that helps give you some momentum and builds that, I'm very visual. That's why I like it, because I like to see it. I'm very visual. I like the practice of doing it. But if that's not you, don't sweat it. There's a million other things that you can do. The thing is that the goal and what I'm really asking you to lean into in this reflecting with purpose is to raise your awareness. And that's when we have things like doing a vision board or a deep dive journal. I've had a deep dive journal workshop that I've offered before. That's what that is for, is increasing your awareness. So there's various ways to do that, but know that that reflective process is really a big part of how you can finish the year strong. And it's bringing your own awareness to the things that, and let me go back to it. What did I do this year that made me proud? What do I feel so good about? I did a social media post, it was just yesterday. And I was doing like an October drop of different photos and videos from the month of October. And I just realized, I'm like, oh my God, I did so much in October. I never did share that. And when I was making that, and for me, that's a real creative process. I enjoy it. I do it. I do it selfishly just because I enjoy it. And when I did that, I was like, and I put this in the caption, I'm really proud of how I lived my life. I felt so much like fullness, happiness. I was very proud of how I chose to show up, how I lived my life, how I moved forward. And when I just happened to look at that month in particular. So, what did you do this year that made you proud of yourself? It's okay to be proud of yourself. Okay. We don't have to walk around. I mean, acknowledge the hard work that you've put into something. Acknowledge the blood, sweat, and tears that you've put into a goal, a project, something that you've been working on for yourself. Maybe some habit that hasn't been serving you and you've been working really hard to get out of that habit and create habits that serve you better, that allow you to show up as your better version of you. So be proud of yourself for that. And then what do I want more of and what do I want less of? I mean, we can just keep it real nitty gritty, simple, but it's increasing your awareness. So when we are in this process, it's very important. I want to talk about resetting your energy and not just your calendar, meaning resetting your energy now and not just like looking at the date on a calendar to do that reset for you. Like that's how a lot of people look at January. So I want you to reset your energy, clear your physical and mental space. Now, clearing your physical space, I'm actually doing some of this right now in my home. And I did this when I was in Carlsbad in California. I've been going through cabinets, drawers, areas, a bookcase, and I'm clearing out my physical space. Like when I look at something, I'm like, do I still like this? Does it make me happy? Does it for both of us, not just me. I mean, I share a house with my husband. Like, does this still represent us? Is this something that feels good when we see it? So clear your physical space. Here in Oklahoma, I'm doing the same thing. In fact, this morning I have filled 4 trash bags. We were talking, so this house, 1999 is when we moved into this location, but it has evolved and been remodeled and reconfigured. So we actually moved out in 2015. We were talking about this earlier and moved out in 2015 and moved back in a year later in 2016. And so the whole house got emptied out per se about 10 years ago. So it's really not that much accumulation. Like when you look at cabinets and your garage and all those little nooks and crannies that we have things in the attic, but I've already done, well, 10 years ago, we like clean sweeped it. So it's not as it like overwhelming as thinking of like 25 years of like being in one location. But I am still going through and in this process of clearing out the physical space and asking, alignment questions and becoming aware of why do we still have this? Is this something that we still want to keep in our environment? How do we want this space to feel? What do we want this to look like? So clearing your physical space is important. And taking little bits of time to do that is great. A great way this month to build momentum going into 2026. So like I said, this morning I filled 3, 4 trash bags of stuff. Everything from like toys, grandkid toys that are either broken or missing parts or all the things, to I tackled my kitchen. You guys know the Tupperware cabinet, drawer, whatever you want to call it, that has like mine anyways, random lids, random containers, things don't even go together anymore. I don't know. I don't know. Like it's just like they get in there and they breed like rabbits. And then I'm like, oh my God, emptied all that out. Cookbooks that, let's be I mean, am I a professional cook? No. Do I need all these cookbooks? No. Do I use a lot of these cookbooks anymore? When I was cooking for a family, I had certain cookbooks that I went to. Obviously, I have some favorites, so I did keep those. But there was like 8 things that I just went in the trash. Those are going. So I'm on a roll on that right now when it comes to clearing physical space. And I'm also not, I feel like 2026 for myself is going to be a big year of transition. I feel like 2025 has been like kind of the lead up year to that. And a lot of new growth and a lot of new experiences, a lot of newness, a lot of first times in coming up in 2026. And I want to lay the groundwork now, clear the space. So physical space, but also resetting your energy, my friend, has to do with your mental space. So taking the time this month to clear your mental space. How do I do that? Well, if you follow this podcast, then you're probably like, you've heard me talk so much about certain mindset techniques and things to do. Like you probably know when I say clear your mental space, my friend, if you just would slow down and breathe and not like breathing rapidly and just trying to keep up with your day, if you would just take a breath and focus on your breathing technique of paying attention to breathing in and breathing out. Taking those moments throughout the day to do that, that right there, you're on your way to clearing your mental space. So becoming aware if you feel bogged down, overwhelmed, and I mean, I get it. Like, especially if when you're have a ton of responsibilities, there are definitely days you wake up and the mental load is there. I get it. I know, which is why it's so important to consistently, I was going to say constantly, but consistently clear your mental space. So as we're working through the month of December and getting ready to start a brand new, fresh year, go into that with clearing your physical space and clearing your mental space. We can't bring in new things to our space, to our world, to even our mental state, to our brain, to our inner being. We can't just keep filling it in. We have to push things out. We have to let go, to clear space, to allow for what is new, for what is actually more aligned for you right now. So by clearing your mental space, you're preparing yourself, your mind, your body for what is best for you, for what is going to help like close that gap from where you are to where you want to be. So clean up to reset your energy. Again, December, what do? I don't know. I don't want to coast through the month. So what could I be doing? Close up open loops that are in your life. Close the open loops. Say no to draining commitments. Say no to the things that are just sucking the life right out of you. And you're trying to just be nice, or you don't want to have someone judge you, or all the things that just don't matter. Sometimes you just have to say no to certain things because that's what's best for you or your family or for your situation right now. I want you to choose peace on purpose. You're not a victim to your environment, to your circumstance. We get the ability to make choices. Situations, circumstances, the month of December, it's going to be what it's going to be. And the beauty is that each and every day, each and every hour, each and every breath, we get to make choices. We get to choose. Now, our choices have consequences, no doubt. I mean, you and I both could probably sit here and go, there's some choices in our life that you're like, that consequence wasn't so enjoyable, but it was the consequence. And other consequences you might really love, felt good, gave you all the things that you were hoping to feel and experience. But that's just how it goes. The beauty is that we get to make choices. We get to choose. We get to choose how we want to show up. We get to choose how we want to look at something, our perspective. We get to choose what we say yes to. We get to choose what we say no to. So choose peace on purpose. You are in that driver's seat for that, for all of it, And the sooner that we take accountability for that, knowing that we're going to get some choices right, we're going to probably get some choices wrong. We're human. Give yourself some slack. Like, you're not here this is not school. We're not like, we do our very best. And yes, we come up short sometimes. But guess what? We can go again. We can try again. So choose peace on purpose. Clear up open loops. And what do you mean on open loops? You can take that as micro or as macro as you want. But for real simple terms, open loops is really anything that you just feel is like unfinished. And like sometimes it's just one little thing that you need to do. or maybe one little phone call that you need to make, or one text, or one email, or one piece of communication that's going to close the loop on that. And you're going to have peace about it, and now you can move on. Maybe it's you've been invited to do something this month and you haven't given them a yes or you haven't given them a no, and you're like, you're in limbo. Close the loop on it, make a decision, get them the response that's needed, and move forward. When you close those loops, your brain gets more space. It plays into the other thing of clearing the mental space. I want to encourage you that when you make space, that this helps you do what I refer to as power moves, not reactive ones. The more space that you can create, both internal and external, for yourself, this makes space for your power moves, not your reactive ones. When we have no space, when we feel bogged down, when our space is like full, that can be like in a physical sense or even in the mental sense. We get more reactive. It's so much easier to be reactive. When you have space, you are less reactive. You move from a place of more presence and power. So reset your energy this month. Don't let the calendar determine that for you. Don't wait for January. We're going to start now. Let's talk about making bold moves before the year ends. So let's dive into that a little bit as we wrap up today's episode. What's one thing that you've been putting off that you know will make you feel in charge of your life again? What's one thing that you're putting off at work that you know will make you feel like a leader again? I want you to ask yourself that question and get very honest with yourself, because that one thing, that's what's going to empower you. What's one thing you've been putting off? You know it's going to put you back in that sense of leadership, in that energy. The one thing you've been putting off that you know is going to make you feel more like less a victim of your life and more empowered within your life. What is that thing? The second thing is I want you to encourage you to start the routine now. Have the conversation now. Sign up for the coaching that you want to have now. Invest in your growth now. Don't wait on the calendar. Do one bold move before the year ends that's going to put you back in that energy, put you back in the driver's seat. Make that one bold move in this month. Don't wait for the first of the new year. You don't need 30 steps. Let's not overcomplicate this. You do not need 30 steps. You need one move with energy behind it. That's what you need. So let's set the tone for 2026, and let's do that now. Let's talk about that. December, I've already said, this isn't downtime. It can be if you want it to be. But what if you looked at December more as of a time of alignment? December can be a time of alignment and clarity so that you can step boldly forward in 2026. It does no good to be taking those steps forward if you're not clear, if you don't have the clarity or the alignment, and it's going to feel off. So then you're going to get like you're going to get the same results next year that you're getting this year if you are not on the same page with yourself, in alignment. I talk about intentional action a lot inside the Flourishing Edge. And, being intentional is so very important when we are building the life that we truly desire. So this month in December, here's the other thing. I want you to show up as the version of you who's already operating at that next level that you're wanting to be at. And when I say operating at that next level, that could be that can be everything. I've worked with clients that their next level has to do with how they view themselves. Their next level has to do with their how their health and wellness is going, and they want to take better care of their body and their mind. And they know that they've just been abusing it and neglecting it and not treating it the way it needs to be treated. And it's hard for them to show up as the best version of themselves when they're just not doing the things that help their health and their mental well-being and their physical well-being. So operate now. Operate right now. Show up. Wake up. Hold the energy. Hold the space. Walk through your day as the version of you who's already operating at that next level. Maybe you have your sights set on a promotion at work or taking your business from this to this next benchmark. Whatever that is for you, like you already hold that inside. If you need help getting clarity on that, then you need to hire me as your coach for sure. And if it's not me, you need a coach to help you get clarity on that. I mean, that is one of the beauties of coaching, is getting the clarity on that. But wherever that gap is for you, I want you to show up this month as the version of you who's already operating at that level, who's already doing the thing that you are aspiring for. What would that version of her, what would she do this month? How would she spend her December? What would she be saying yes to? What would she be saying nah and walking away from? Get very specific on that. Really think about that future version of you who's already operating at that level, already doing the thing that you're aspiring to, that you're wanting to step into. How is she showing up right now? How is she structuring her month of December? What does she say yes to? And what does she pause and say, I don't think I can do that right now? My friend, all of these things that I've shared with you today are going to set the tone and build that momentum for you as you start next year. So December is not like just a coast and get by. December is not, I'm just going to skip all my workouts, eat everything I want, and not even pay any attention to my physical or mental well-being until January. December is not the time to say, I am going to just not look at any of my work goals, my sales goals, whatever industry you're in. I was working with someone that was in sales, so I had that fresh on my mind. That's not that you can't just back burner all of those things. It's only going to make your January and your stepping into 2026 that much more challenging. How great would it feel to start another year feeling fired up and clear and have momentum behind you because you have not been coasting through the month of December? You've been taking aligned action. You've been doing some of the things that I've talked about, reflecting with purpose. You've been resetting your energy. You haven't been waiting for the January 1st to show up before you decided to reset your energy. And you've already started to make you've already started to make bold moves. You've already taken that one bold action before the year ends, because you already know you don't need 30 steps to get where you want to get. You need one move with the right energy behind it. That's what you need. So take full advantage of this time in December to set the tone for the next year. Well, I hope that this has lit up a little spark in you to go, how do I want to spend this month? I want to make sure that I really enjoy the ending of this year, and that I reflect, and that I reset my energy, and that I am ready to take bold moves and bold action and show up as that future version of myself right now. If you're ready to lead yourself well, very well this month, and you walk into the new year with confidence and clarity, I've got something for you for sure that you want to be a part of in 2026, and that's my Flourishing Edge Inner Circle. There will be a link below that you can just click on it and go dive into it, and see, all the ins and outs, how it would be a good match for you. But I have a fresh new group that is starting in January 2026. So I really encourage you for accountability, for confidence, clarity, for building your toolkit for life, to build a life that you truly desire. And this is for ambitious. I am so like I'm just my brain. I'm making up words. I can't believe I said that. Ambitional. I was saying ambitious and professional is what I was thinking. This is for ambitious and professional women who are ready to take their life to the next level, who really want to build their toolkit for how to navigate life, to close that gap from where you are to where you want to get. And it's just such a great group coaching, and I have live coaching in there throughout the month. So yes, I definitely take individual questions, and we dive into actual, live questions that the members have. And on top of, there's obviously set content for the month, but there's always that opportunity for live coaching inside the inner circle. All right, my friend, thanks so much for being here. It's going to be a fabulous holiday month. I'm so excited, and I wish you all the joy, and all the peace, and the vision for yourself to build the momentum this month so that we can start next year on fire. All right, my friend, I will see you same time, same place next week. Until then, have a fabulous week. I want to thank you for tuning in today to the podcast, and I hope you've enjoyed the conversation and all the info that's been shared today. And I hope you've come away with a few ideas on how to make the most out of it for your life. If you loved this episode, be sure to share it with your friends and family. And also make sure you subscribe to the podcast and tap that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Also, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would leave a podcast review. So until next time, my friend, keep flourishing and thriving and live your life to the